Hey, what up, guys? It's me again. But you know what? This season two, baby. Welcome to the family. I'm your host, Patrick Mitchell. This is my moment podcast. And just like always, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna meet a ton of new people. We're gonna see a ton of new faces. And I'm just excited to be here, man. Let's go to work.
There ain't no stopping it, this is my moment. Join the movement, we bringing people together, bringing positivity, making changes for the better.
Today, I have a young lady on the other end of this thing, man, and I was excited to hear that she was part of the military family. You guys know that I'm an old school military sergeant. So when I heard her story and I heard what she does, I had to try to get it. I had to try to get her, and she blessed us, and now she's here with us. Let's go to work. Introduce yourself to the family.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I'm Janet Sanchez. I'm from Puerto Rico. I got 3 kids, and I'm a veteran, and my husband, a military spouse. My husband served in the military too.
Oh, that is. So just like just like I said in the beginning, I love military. Everything military I'm in. And you told me that you guys were Army, right?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Air Force is always the way to go. I apologize. My thing. But so a pleasure to have you. In the beginning, you were telling me how to pronounce your business, and I told you I was going to butcher it, but I'm going to try not to. So fix me. Esposas Militares Hispanas.
Hispanas.
I was close.
Almost got it.
Yeah,
Almost got
I was there. I got it wrote down like I talk, so you got to excuse me.
it.
What got you started into trying to help folks? And tell us a little bit about it. What is it?
Yeah, so Esposas Militares Hispanas is a volunteer nonprofit organization that started in 2007.
Yeah.
And it started as a small group of friends. It was 10 military spouses that got together every day. We all speak Spanish. Actually, we were all from Puerto Rico. And we used to left the kids at school and then gathered together to do activities or event and to learn something new. And I saw myself constantly translating for these military spouses and my friend. And then we discover Facebook groups. And then I started a Facebook group just for us 10 spouses so we can share information. And we were about to PCS, which means moving to another duty station. And I said, this is perfect because then I can translate information, put it in the group, and we can all keep in touch.
Yeah.
And the word of mouth is magnificent. And other spouses started to learn about what we were doing and they wanted to be included. And 15 years later, here we are with a nonprofit that serves over 50,000 military spouses around the world.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. From an old military guy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. Because, like, I've been a whole lot of places and I've seen a whole lot of people, and I think that is phenomenal that you're actually taking the time and the effort to make sure that these spouses are considered. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, you're a spouse, your husband or your wife. Nah, I'm 100% into if you're married in, you're in. Sorry.
And yeah, and you said it's something very, very true. And the difference is that these military spouses have language barriers, right? They feel the isolation of the military community in general because they don't know the language.
Yeah.
So what we try to do is we want them to learn English because it's necessary.
Yeah.
We offer English classes for free. And then we want to include them in the community so they can give back to that community. So we want them to continue to school. We want them to work. We want to them to volunteer. So it's a in 1-1, winning in both situations, right? Because we want them to give back to the community.
That's what's up. And I'll tell you what, I think it's super important too, because not only are you doing things, you're getting them out the house. So now they're meeting, they're understanding that this military lifestyle is kind of different. It's kind of different. And if you don't have support, if you don't have people that know the system a little bit and that can help you, you can get lost. You can
It's
get
hard
lost.
for a person that knows English. Can you imagine for someone that doesn't know the language?
I can't. I can't. So I tell you what, I appreciate you. Let me ask you this. Have you been able to help everyone that you've come in contact with, or have it been some like people that you just couldn't help? Have you been able to help most people?
We actually have helped everyone that connect us. And if we cannot find the help, we will not hesitate and we will not stop until we find that help, even if we have to go to other nonprofits or to the government or Department
Yes.
of Defense or but we always try to find a solution or a
Mhm.
guidance on resources for that spouse in
Yeah.
need or the military because we get a lot of military too.
Mm. Do you guys see a lot of that where they come in and you have to send them to another organization, and then that organization kind of gives them a little flack because maybe they don't speak English, or how's that where they have to come back and then you have to go with them? Like, how does that work? 'Cause I've been overseas a lot, right? And I've seen a lot of not just ladies, men, like the whole gambit, to where they don't speak the language of the service, right? And then they go and ask for help. Just we say passports. I just use passports to where you go in and you don't understand they don't understand the language, they don't speak it, and the person behind the counter, they're not speaking it. So
Right.
you kind of at a loss. Have you had to go in and like be a translator for the most part? Have you guys ever did
Yes. So we have translators, and
that?
it's funny because if they are in that position,
Yeah.
sometimes they call us and then we do three-way
Yeah,
translation with
yeah.
them. So, for example, if we have issues with spouses at any family readiness office, or if they go and ask for assistance and they don't have somebody that speaks Spanish,
Yeah.
usually they call us and then we'll call the office and do three-way after they give us permission.
Oh, that's cool. I like that, man. I like that. When Ashley had you on and I was researching, I was like, I think I'm gonna enjoy this because anytime that you can help people be better and understand, especially with the government, I am a huge fan of the military. There's no way around it. I am still that. And when you help people become better inside of that organization, man, I love it. So congratulations. Thank you for what you do, man.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
So
Thank you.
besides the language barrier, what are some other challenges that you ran into by being this nonprofit helping spouses with the language barrier?
Yeah.
Give me some challenges.
Yeah, so we have three main challenges,
Okay.
right? So, um, is the language barriers that military spouses face daily, the cultural shock,
Mm.
and distance, letting go, because Hispanic families are very family oriented.
Right.
They're very united, right? So it's very hard when they move away from family and letting go, right? And then
Mm.
they come to this military lifestyle and then they don't know the language and then that's where isolation comes. So
Right.
before any military spouse with language barriers can understand the military, the traditions, and get acquainted to the military culture, is imperative to learn English. So
Mm.
that's why we offer online free English classes for them. And we're just dedicated for them to break that barrier. But
Mm.
those are the three challenges: cultural shock, language barriers, and the distance letting go.
Wow. The biggest misconception. So you started this 15 years ago, right? 2007. Let me see, where was I in 2007? 2007, I think I was in, man, South Carolina.
I was in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
He was in Kentucky, so you wasn't
No,
that far from.
sorry, Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Fort Knox. So yeah, I was in South Carolina '07.
Yeah.
You starting this up. Were you active duty when you started it?
No. I was
Okay, so
National
you were just
Guard.
out or on guard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right too. We all count. I love it.
Correct.
So let me ask you this. What's the biggest misconception you had when you started this thing?
That it was only for us. It was only
Mm.
for
You wasn't sharing.
that it was only for 10 friends that
Yeah.
I mean, I was not visualizing the growth. I knew there was a language barrier problem
Right.
because I saw it everywhere I went
Right.
while I was helping my friends. I
Okay.
didn't know the magnitude of the problem.
Mm. So once you got going, you saw like how big it really was, and
How big it was, how military offices were not prepared for
Oh
our
yeah,
military families with language barriers,
yeah,
how Department of Defense had no idea how
mm,
many issues military families with language barriers had. So
yeah,
it was very interesting.
let me ask this. So how do you stay motivated on those days, right? Because and I know for a fact that the military can be super challenging while you're in, and as a spouse, I know it's very challenging. On those days, right, when everything seems to be going wrong, right, man, like you can't find the help, or when you go to the different organizations inside the service to try to get these spouses help, and they're not helping you. What are you doing to stay motivated? Like, what are you doing to keep this smile, Janet?
It's hard because you know how the military is. There is a lot of red tape
Yeah, it is.
everywhere. It's very complicated. So I work very, very hard. This is my passion, and
yeah,
I don't give up. But there is days that I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, what
yeah,
am I doing? Is it worth it? My stress, or is it worth it? My why should I keep going, right?
yeah,
And then at that moment, and I'm telling you, every time that I am doubting myself,
yeah.
I get that email or I get that phone call that says, Janet, thank you so much.
Oh,
Your organization helped me finish learn English. Because of your
yes,
organization, I found a job. Because of your organization, my family's stable. So those emails, that confirmation,
yeah,
those calls of those spouses that have been helped
yeah,
are my push, are my gas to continue to what we're doing, because that means we're doing something different that is
yes,
making a difference in the military community.
Yes, yes, huge. And I'll tell you, man, people always said happy wife, happy life, happy husband. I'm talking about spouses in general. The moment that you realize that you are, as a spouse, just as much bought into the military as the person going to work every day, as the person getting up and going to PT every day. You are just as much in it. When you can feel that void that you have, like you talked about, now you feeling that worth. Now you can kind of understand a little bit better of what's going on without being depressed, without having
Right.
that anxiety that comes with not knowing anything or not having the people there that's inside of your circle to help you better progress through and tread through this muck that we call DOD, right?
Yeah, correct.
Crazy. And I look and I see you smiling, right? And to me, that bad day just looks like it's motivating you to just step your game up a little bit more. So now you don't have those hang-ups.
It is. It is. And I tell you what, all my program managers and we our organization is a volunteer-based organization. We don't get paid. None of us get
right,
paid. We work because we want to give back to our own community.
yeah,
And every single one of my program managers and my volunteers, we have help
mm,
and they want to give back.
that's amazing.
So it's a circle of community,
Yeah,
because that's what we are. We're a community.
I love it. When you started, right, and you're entrepreneur and you're doing your thing, you got kids. What
Yes.
is your work-life balance? Like people call you, it's 5 o'clock and you're picking the kids up from school, right? Like how do you balance like being an entrepreneur, being a nonprofit, helping people? Because a lot of times people don't understand, look, I'm off the clock. I want to be my own family. But they don't care because they still need their problem fixed. Like it's just what it is.
Yeah.
What are you doing to fix that work-life balance? Or do you even have a work-life balance?
I'll tell you what, my kids are adults now, right? My little one is graduating college in May. Thank goodness,
congrats,
done, right?
congrats.
The other, my oldest is a teacher here in San Antonio, and
Okay.
then my middle one is in the military. My kids saw me; they grew up me doing this, right?
Yeah,
And when I was a child, I always remember my grandma saying, when you have your time, when you have time off,
hmm,
you give back to the community. It's like
mm,
every time you have time off, you give back to those in need. If you have something that you can give to the community, you give it to the community because they're going to need you. And it always stay in my mind, right? I grew up in the mountains in Puerto Rico, very poor. So I came from a humble family.
Yeah.
And even though we didn't have much, we were always giving.
Yeah.
And I taught my kids that. So
Mm-hmm.
as soon as they saw me of the change that I was doing or what, I always include them in that. Like if we had an activity, if we had an event, come on, help, volunteer. So they always knew that volunteering was part of our family.
Yeah.
And they were, excuse my dogs, and they had no problem with that. There were moments that I had to put a pause, right? I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore because in this moment, because I need to take care of my kids.
Right.
And my kids had preference on that, right?
Yeah.
But I tried to include them in the process so they could learn what is to give back to the community. And it's very interesting to see because I can see that on them now as adults.
That's amazing. And you know what's funny, right? I have a similar circumstance to you. My oldest is 26. My middle son, he's actually in town now. He's getting ready to be stationed overseas. He's PCSing. And my youngest daughter, she's 22. So our our kids' situation same. And what I like is that as a parent, right, you teach your kids these things, right, and you show them these things. And as they're growing up, you may not see it. You're like, man, what did I teach you? What have I shown you? And then once they grow up and they start growing into who they are as people, as adults, and you see those things, right, that you taught them, and you like, you know what? I didn't think you was listening, but, and that's such an amazing feeling, man. And I am super proud. I'm laughing because I can totally see you helping these folks, and I've been there. I was a customer service person in the military too, so I've seen those people that need assistance, and organizations like what you have going on is far and few between depending on where you're stationed at. So so great job on that. You have one skill that stands out above everything else to make this successful. What is the one skill that you got?
Oh, you got me.
This ain't even the hard part yet. Wait a minute. I got you. This is the easy one.
A skill.
Like, do you have to have patience? Do you have to have foresight? Like, what do you have that makes it successful?
I think it's two. I think it's patience, and I think it's passion. Yes. I have passion for what I do, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in 150%. But with that passion, you need to have patience because you don't know what's coming next. So today might be calm, but tomorrow might be 20 million calls, or the next day we have 3 domestic violence cases that we have to know. So it's ebbs
and flows. I got you.
Yes, it flows differently every day.
Yeah.
So I think my passion is my drive to continue.
At the end of the interviews, I like to play a game, right?
Okay.
And I actually named it now. It's called Pick One. That's the name of the game. So I'm going to give you an option, and you have to choose. And it's meant to be tough. It's meant to be tough, but I'm not going to throw you under the bus. I'm not going to do nothing like that, but I want to have a little fun.
You ready?
I want it. All right, let's go.
Military vet, entrepreneur, which one would you rather be?
Military vet.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? All this passion, 15 years.
Tell you why.
Go ahead.
Because I love the military and I couldn't finish my career. Because I picked my kids and my family before the career. So I still have that little thing like, what could I have done, right?
Yeah.
If I was in the military full force.
So we go on military vet over entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it.
That's easy.
One thing that you get to tell someone, you have one sentence to give somebody that comes into your office, what are you telling them?
One day at a time.
Solid answer. Solid answer. Today, let's worry about today.
That's it.
And we get to tomorrow.
That's it.
That's a great answer. You had more trouble with the regular questions than these. Look, I should have tried harder, Janet. Goodness. Here we go. I give you the phrase, okay. This is my moment. First thing comes to your mind, this is my moment. What you got?
Oh God, that is hard. You know why? Because I never think about this is a good question. I'm always thinking about everybody else and not me. So this is my moment. I'm proud of what I have become.
Hey, growth is it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You think about it, right? You went from 10 friends to a nonprofit.
Yeah. As a person, I am happy where I'm at. As the founder of this organization, my moment is that after 15 years, I'm sitting on a table in Department of Defense, Pentagon, and the White House. So yes, that's my moment.
That is your moment. That is your moment. You know what's funny, man? It's your moment, and you're helping so many other people too. So you know what? It's not just your moment inside of what you're doing. Moment too. It is their moment also. Yes, right. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Man, so that's it, Janet. We're done. But I want you to leave the people with something. The people that are listening to you now, right? I have people from all walks of life listening. I have people from all over the world listening. I want you to give them something. Give them something to go home with.
Yeah. Never forget where you come from. Because those little things that you learn along the way are the ones that are going to shape you in the future.
That's solid game right there, Janet.
Yeah.
That's some good information. Well, Ms. Janet, I sure appreciate you. Give me the name of the organization one more time.
Esposas Militares Hispanas.
That is Esposas Militares Hispanas.
There you go. You got it.
I learned something.
Hey, guys, here's the deal. Don't be too proud of what you got going on to give back to other people. Don't underestimate the value of what you have to offer that impacts other people's lives. You never know how much it means to them. You never know what giving back to that person, to that organization, to those folks may mean to them. Get out of your own space, go help somebody. And at the end of the day, go get it!
There ain't no stopping it, this is my moment. Join the movement, we bringing people together, bringing positivity, making changes for the better. Cause it's all about growth, all about success. We wanna see you